Hi, I'm Evan Reynolds. I've been involved with the development and the spread of MyCompass since its early inception. I've also worked in the disability rights and service sector for over 25 years. I have direct experience working alongside people with disabilities. I've worked frontline and in management, leading large and small teams. And like you, I want to help people with disabilities be heard and supported to live their best lives. I'm a believer in all the great things that MyCompass can do to help people and organizations. Well, a few things before we get started with the demo. Check out our website, MyCompassPlanning.com, for videos, testimonials, and more info. Number 2, MyCompass's mission is way more than just spreading helpful software. Our mission is ultimately to contribute to redesigning social service case management interactions so they are more empowering and humanized for everyone involved. And we do this through co-creating alongside the people we serve. And it results in a more humanized, efficient, and engaging support system that allows people to truly thrive. There really isn't anything else out there that centers both the people served and the organizational needs. And we're really proud of that, and we continue to improve upon MyCompass. Number 3, a common first question is, how secure is MyCompass? Well, for details, please see our security info page and our facts and questions section on our website, MyCompassPlanning.com. Rest assured, safety and security is top priority, and we use only the best security and encryption. Number 4, today, you're going to see how MyCompass comes to you right out of the box, but there are lots of ways to customize questions. You can use toggle features to shut on or off various areas and features, and you can write your own pillar topics and associate questions for yourself. Number 5, if you think you need some specific customizations for your organization, this is also possible with an extra cost. You can contact MyCompass to inquire. But we do find that many requests for customizations are already in MyCompass. They just might be called something a bit different than what your organization is used to. Feel free to inquire. And number 6, for pricing, you can contact us through our book a demo section on our website or email directly to hello@mycompassplanning.com. And the sales representative from our team will be in touch. Okay, let's get into our demo. I'm going to walk through the main features. There's so many features that MyCompass does present. Take some notes of specific areas that you see to maybe the needs of your organization or just general questions you may have. In front of you, what you see is a dashboard. I've made my mouse larger so that you can be able to see where I'm actually pointing on the screen. Now, each one of these people will be on when you are what is called a contributor. So the language of MyCompass is contributor. That could be your staff. That could be a friend, a family member, a partnering agency, whoever is invited to be a part. It is password protected. You cannot get in without a password and an invitation that has been granted. So it must require an invitation. It is not a social media platform as much as the interaction looks like a social media platform. All right, so our dashboard is what everybody will see when you come on for the people that you're supporting. You will always find the little sample guy here where it says Nick Harding. Nick Harding is a sample. Everybody will have access for all the other profiles you see in front of you. There is 2 different toggles. We have the toggle switch to go in and or back. So as you come around, you can then say, oh, I prefer to see it in a different mode. And in this mode, you're also going to see, when you're going through it, you'll see green for review. It says next plan review with a date. And then if we go a little bit higher, you'll see plan in development. Now what that is up here in your filter. It will show all plans in development only, all plans that are in progress currently throughout the year, and any that need review. We'll discuss that when we hit the plans section. But for the sake of right now, we are going to walk in and let's start with John Doe. So we're going to go to John Doe. We're going to click on, this is the profile of the individuals you're supporting. So when you purchase your software, whether you're purchasing a 50 person, a 100 person, maybe a 500 or a 1,000 person profile, that's how many profiles you can create. It is unlimited how many people can be involved as a contributor. Those are the supports
of John Doe, those are called contributors. All right, well, let's start walking through some of the functions that you'll see. What I'd like to do, we are in a profile, but I want to go back to people, which is our dashboard up here. And I want you to be able to see what are some of the options. At the top, people will take you to your dashboard. Our reports, when you click on reports, you'll be able to get some custom data report if you chose to put some field questions in on custom data. There is a report that builds out a spreadsheet, say for your funders, to report how many goals are being accomplished in an Excel. There is a function for supportive employment report and an independent. We'll show you where that is later. Over here in the dashboards, what the dashboard will do is give you an aggregate of the organization. How many supported, goals created, log notes written, timeline posts. And you can then take your time and look through in here yesterday, last 2 days, this month. You can even custom the range and pick your dates if you so choose. And go back up. And if you needed to, you could filter. There's a place to filter into subsections all throughout the program. And then you would click your feature where it says filter. Now down lower, demographics, age, genders, gender by age. We can go how many goals are in progress, completed. At the bottom, now I have a demo mode, but there will be, if there's incidents, these are all the log notes that have been created. So if you had, say, 50 log notes and one was an incident, it would actually show. The others would be fine. So in this case, we have 2 that have been written. 2, it says no concerns. 1 is an incident. All right. So in our plans, it shows your development, your progress, and needs. And this is an aggregate of information for you. Now, you can also go over and check in your aggregate area of staff. So it tell you how many active users, how many goals have been created by the staff, and the activity. So it shows, have they been a part of the goal completion? Goals are in progress. They have been assigned to you. We're going to walk through that in a little while. There is also one more section called stories and survey. We'll show you that in the admin section. You can create a survey of people's stories and be able to send something out to all the profiles where they can then walk through a survey of questions, and you can set a timeline between 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, where people have a chance to complete the survey online and be able to get the stories of the things that have been happening in your organization. All right, I'm going to go back. I always prefer to have the toggle switch. I like it to look like it's a little more alive. Let's go to John Doe. All right, so as we walk through John Doe, what we're going to notice is we have the picture, the profile picture. It doesn't have to be of them. Maybe they don't want to see their face. A background, whatever it may be, you can put up. Always remember, we need MyCompass. Encourage you to note that the background picture, the profile picture, basically this will say 1,000 words more than an actual text writing will. And so when you're engaging with people, you will notice that most of the organizations are telling us when they add pictures, there is more engagement. And of course, we also have a video feature we'll talk about. And so this can be changed just by clicking on, and you can go over top. You can write your motto, and then you can put your profile pics, you upload, and or you can remove and put something up, and it'll pull it right from your computer. So let's go back to the timeline. In here, you have a timeline. You have an about section. Here is a crowdsourced community planning, so you can go in and find maps that have been crowdsourced. We have a mission section that can be put in by an organization. Here is the plan. No matter what you call your plans in your organization, at MyCompass, we call them plan. It may be called a service plan. It may be a person-centered plan, whatever it may be, it would fall under the plan. And then the briefcase. Not everybody who is a contributor can see all of these things. Specifically, the briefcase. The briefcase is only selected for staff of the organization. However, there is a permissions area. You can change permissions. I will show you that in a little bit. Let's walk through the timeline. In the timeline section, what you will notice is there is posts that have been made. So for example, we see, so I put a post, John, you're going to love this drummer. Take a look. He loves drumming. So then we go in and look, and we can see he's got it all set up, right? So then you have a favorites. This is really to help with engagement. Many individuals, if they actually get a chance to look, and we encourage you, have them be involved in it. Let them see what you're doing. Don't just make this a piece that's just for a log note, but make it engaging with them. Help them with it, and then you can make more postings. I'm going to show you that are like this video and how to do it. as well as you'll notice on the side, the plan, which we'll get to in just a few moments over here, between your pillars and goals. So say he's got 6 pillars, each one has its goals. It'll tell us upcoming and or even completed goals, and it will show you on the side here where it says 1 of 1 completed. This one still has 1 to go. These ones we haven't put any goals in. I just have them there for the purpose of showing you. But you'll notice here, 1 of 1 completed, it actually shows like a certificate. Join a self-advocacy group. And you could even comment after. So anyone coming on can comment. This is not a log note. This is just a timeline for engagement. All right, now below you can see, went out to see the self-advocacy. I can go in and I can still edit on here. This is not a log note. This is an area to approach the timeline for the goal planning. You can see it's been liked and favorited, as well as it says, me commenting, and this could be 7, 8 other people commenting. Different pictures can be put up. So in this section, as we keep going down, you can see we've put up video. I'm going to show you how to actually put that video up as well. Hey everyone, thanks for checking. And that was video that we put in right from our desktop and or laptop. You could put it in from your mobile device. So the timeline is when you click on to share something, you can accomplish these goals. So you enter in the completion of goals and or tasks in someone's life right here in the timeline post. So if I go down to does this relate to a goal, the list of goals from this side will show. So if I create a list to help someone, in this case, create a list who helps with what to make your home run smoothly, then you create the tasks. So maybe what we did is I had a conversation at a team meeting and we talked about ideas. That's all we did. I could upload an image. So if it uploads an image, I could just pull from somewhere, wherever it may be. I will take a camera shot just as if we were doing something to give you an idea. This section is where I can upload a video from a URL. So for example, I'm going to go into this video right here. So I'm going to take... So I'm going to copy, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to take this kid that's got this great video. I'm going to add this piece in. I normally wouldn't do this all in the same. I probably just add a picture or a video, but for time's sake, I'm going to walk you through. I'll put today's date. Didn't catch that actually quite. There we go. Gonna do a little happy face. That was a great day. Up here, met as a team and have some great ideas, John. So I'm just going to go as if I'm talking to John and letting him know, and then we're going to make the post. So now the post is instantly going to be put up on the cloud and it goes in. So we met as a team and have some great ideas, John. I've let him know. So maybe it's about videotaping, and look at this right below it. We have a post.
Amazing Kids Week continues right now. Do not move because he is a talented 4-year-old drummer.
Then that URL that we copied goes directly in, and it is also a part of the completion, and people can be a part of it and or like and comment. Wonderful tool for engagement. Wonderful tool. Okay, so that's your timeline. We will come back to the timeline a little bit later about some other ways to incorporate during the log notes to even make it easier. But let's go to the first section. Generally, you have ongoing binders. You have information that is all about the person that you're supporting. The About section is going to introduce you to John Doe. So in this case, we have a list, and you can see it on the side. It's about his story, his rights, what he cares deeply, maybe the hopes of his family, guardian, unique ways of communicating, his learning, his interests, unique abilities. And so all of these areas, so you'll notice I just put in here, he grew up in Northern Ireland, moved to Canada when he was 22, loves hiking, spending. His dream is to become a writer. And by the way, John loves drumming. So again, I got the drumming little piece that I put in here from another drummer. Now, up here, you can edit at any time to go in and make changes. Their story, someone's story can change. You can put links and you can put posts right into here, or you can continue your writing if you want. You could even highlight. So you are given those abilities to come. And then you can go put different pictures in if you so choose, and then you would save and come back. Now, in coming back, as we go through each one of these sections, you can just scroll down also, put in something about him and his rights. Maybe you feel that there's things that don't work for John, and those are really important. So these are the things that John wants you to know. This is where your staff would be able to come in and or anyone else and get to know John a little bit more. But remember, everybody can see the about section, including family or friends. So be careful what is put into this section. What he cares deeply, his hopes, his unique way of communicating. So you have all these sections. If you want to go quick, you can just quickly move on the side and or you can scroll down. That is the about section. Let's quickly move to the community. Now this community section is a crowdsourced map that you'll notice on this map. Now we are located, and I'm doing this demo from in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada region. So I have, obviously you can see the map that has been put in place. So I have West Edmonton Mall, I have houses. So the purple that you see is specifically only for John. Only John can see the map of what is purple. The ones that are red, like you see the coffee shop Ed down here, will be for everyone in the organization. It's been made public. You can on the back end. So for example, say we want to go to Jeff and we want to edit, because we want this to be made public. At the bottom, you can submit for approval if this is a common place. So West Edmonton Mall, we would submit. This is a private house. We don't want that. And you'll see on the back end, when you want to edit, you can put a description about Jeff's house, where it is. You can look for an address. It will automatically pull it up and it'll put it down below. You can add a website if you chose. You can put an image. You can let us know, is it accessible by wheelchair? All right. So in that community map, we're going to see the places. And this can be used on your mobile device because it is a cloud-based software. So your staff, if they're going to a location, a doctor's appointment, a meeting, or maybe it's a family member taking them to a specific connection, maybe it's a club, community center. If you go in and you click on the areas, you're going to be able to find that place on the map more specific. And again, all those places are editable and you can add or remove pictures. If you want to just discover places, what you'll notice when we open it up, it's been crowdsourced. So all these places within the organization are now in here. We have a list of all the places you can do the Action Lab, the Bonnie Doon, the park. Maybe we're talking about different communities, anything along those lines, and what is wheelchair accessible. That could be very important. So if you can also begin to pinpoint. So if you're looking to discover places or something along that line, you can actually go in and be able to pinpoint a place. That is your crowdsourced map that is built for the community. We go into a section that's called missions. Now you'll notice in this mission section, I didn't show you earlier, at the very top, the missions are based on the aggregate of what has been put in by the organization. Let's go up top here to the missions. This is what the organization has put in. People might be of an idea what they could explore about themselves, maybe their home, meaningful things to do. So what we've done is we've created a missions list. Now, as an organization, when you first come, we have a few basic generic ones we'll put in. You can remove these, you can edit these, or you can add your own. So you can be creative within. We just created something easily for you, and you can assign them under pillars that have been put in. Pillars can be changed also by your organization. We'll touch base on that when we get to the plan. So in this case, we see the mission. So now let's go back to the dashboard because I did leave. Let's go back to John. When we go to John, let's look at his missions. So the ones you saw up here for the company, it will say my mission. So currently he doesn't. Where's the missions list? So the missions list is showing 3 different things. What has he completed? He's completed 1. So he's wrote a letter to someone, but his list still has other options. If he chose, he could pick any one of those. For example, if he picked following a yoga video. So it's going to walk you through the instructions. You could do 1 thing a day. You could do a couple things or several. It may be done quickly. In this case, we mentioned 30 minutes. So if you're going to get started, you're going to follow through. Find a quiet spot. So we're going to talk with John. Let's go find a quiet spot so we can practice. You'll do that. And if you wanted to continue or save until another time, then you go to we have the links to go to videos that you may like, or even easier beginner yoga. You can check those out, follow those directions. Encourage, take a picture. It doesn't have to be of you, could be of an area. Then you continue. If you're still continuing with the pace, you want to make sure that you teach them to clean up after. Then as you get to the next deck, how did you feel? Maybe I absolutely loved it. You click as you continue and it shows it's been completed, mission complete. But there is a part you can put in about what are the next steps. You also may consider making more videos. Maybe you want to make your own videos. So in his My Missions, what you're going to see that it shows to completion. So if you go completed missions, there they are. And his mission list, whatever the organization still has, is still available. This is a new feature that has just been recently added. Now let's move over. Before we get to the plan, I want to walk you through the briefcase. Now, before we go to the briefcase, we're going to talk about contributors. Those are the people supporting the people in the organization. So that again could be, that's all your staff, managers, team leaders, supervisors, coordinators, direct staff, community support, whatever that may be along those lines. Now, what we want to do is we want to show you in this section, there are areas as they flow down, helpful information, ID, important dates, a reflection, and all your log notes and your setup. This is like your filing area for the individual. This is all the important information. At the very bottom, you will see a permissions matrix. What I want to show you before we go in, this permissions matrix allows you to see these are the permissions currently, and in these current permissions, what you're hoping to be able to see is whether or not you have access or not. So if you need to, you can go back and gain that access. Now, I'm going to show you the contributor section right here. In the contributors, these are all the people that can contribute. If I go into one, let's just say I'll look at mine. So if I look at, it talks about, again, making sure before you add people, you need permission and consent because you're inviting them into a cloud-based software that is confidential. And as an organization, you have policies around who can be involved. So in this case, you'll see a first name, last name. What is important is that you make sure you have an email assigned. To be a part of MyCompass, you must have an email that is assigned. So in this case, I have myself at evan@mycompassplanning.com. I put myself as a manager and the permission level. So remember earlier, I showed you what can you see or not? You have a list of things. So all of these things from manager and above are the ones listed. Now, there is a slight difference. These are all testing ones that have been created. There is a special way to go in and create your own permission levels and name it by what you'd like to name it. Remember, there's a lot of small detail for the administrator in making that, so be very careful. You don't want to give access that would be incorrect or lack the access that is specifically needed. And once you're done, you can put a little summary about yourself if you choose, a little bit about yourself, and or if you're deleting the person right off the list, you would click delete and they would be gone and you would save. And if you had to go ahead and add, you would just click in, add, and this is how simple it is. You go in, you add their name, first, last, put the email, put the permission level. So say this is our guardian, so we're going to keep guardian level, and then we would put relationships, maybe Office of Public Guardian, and then we would go to the bottom and click save. That's how we would actually walk through that. So that's your contributors. They are unlimited for John. So again, when you purchase, it's based on the number of people supported, not based on the number of contributors. Contributors are unlimited. All right, let's walk through some of the little things. You have a private helpful information. This is so that you actually know this is only for the organization. Guardians and funders and others that you invite for permission levels cannot see this. This is only for the organization. So in this case, something that's maybe important, getting up in the morning, I've attached, maybe he has to watch his wrestling for an hour before he goes about his day. If it gets changed, that may be a very difficult day for John. And so we specifically want to make sure to mention in the private help, it's getting a glance look at the person from a distance, maybe for even new staff who don't know them well. And you can go in and you can actually edit that information and add more if you choose. You have a private identification. You're out in the community. You end up needing to go to a hospital. Maybe you're at a clinic. Maybe you're dealing with someone on the phone and you need certain information and purchases. First name, last name, gender, birth date, healthcare numbers, income supports, service cards, government IDs, guardianship statuses, trustee status. Maybe they have medications, any of those things. And you can go in and you can edit all this information. You can either take it away and or add new. So that is the personal identification. This part is something that you can manage if someone is even far away and you are not able to meet with them personally, and can be accessed, again, long as the person has access to MyCompass, they can open it up on any digital device. Please always remember to make sure to sign out, but this will shut off in 15 minutes if it's not being used. It will sign out of MyCompass. Important dates, it's not a map. It's important that it's not a map, but the important dates will show up. So you see here, it's showing these dates. If I come into my main timeline, not the briefcase where we originally started, up here, important dates. So we come back into, there we go. We can see upcoming right away, December 17th is the birthday party. If we go back to the briefcase, we can see the important dates. We can see the dad's birthday party is coming up December 17th. So again, this one is past, so it's not going to show. All right, so you can continue to add and you can put more dates in, and sometimes you can put them as yearly to reoccur and sometimes they're not. You can add dates and or remove and delete old dates. Below is contact persons. These are the people in their life. So this could be doctors, these could be family members, these could be friends, anyone. You can then put in what is their role, what is their name, what is their phone number. You can get an email, you can get an address. And again, this is another area that you can go in and you can add whatever information. You can even add other information specifically about them. So you're trying to contact someone, you will find them under the contacts. So we encourage at MyCompass, take advantage. Put everybody that they would need to have contact with into this section because it can be accessed from anywhere as it's cloud-based. Living arrangements, this is so that you always know your address. You can put your own residence. Maybe they might stay over living arrangement sometimes with one of their parents or a close family, close friend. You could put those living arrangements into that. But generally speaking, living arrangement is for their home where they actually live. There is a section for medical information. In this case, I just uses a wheelchair. You could go in and add more information. It could talk about whether they administer their medications or not, allergies, and you can custom field and add others. Below is documents. Some of you are very familiar with documents when it comes to things like we know of as Google Drive. Well, on a Google Drive, you can upload your document. You can do the same in our documents section. So our document section, you'll see we have plans and procedures. So all the plans and procedures that are listed can be actually put into here. Now, let me show you when you go in, you can assign them to all these areas, which are essentially areas on the side over here. Or you can leave it blank and make and create your own subsection. So if you have a filing system, an ongoing binder or something you're taking from, you can name them along the subsection lines. You'll title whatever the name is. You'll then upload your new file, and it will actually go to pull from wherever it is on your computer. We encourage you to use a laptop or a desktop when you're doing all your documents and adding things up. Please remember though, when you go back to documents, all of these files, if you have a Microsoft Word or an Excel and you are opening on a device that does not support Word or Excel, it will not be able to open. So what we do is we encourage at MyCompass to always know that if you use PDF, it will open on all platforms. So a PDF copy would allow you access. So that could be consent forms, that could be release of information consent, that could be search and rescue. It could be many different things that your organization needs. And these are unlimited. You can add as many as you choose. The plans, which we're going to come to in a moment, they are archived. So at the end of every year, they are actually archived into this section. So if I go back to this one, it will show me the MyCompass pillar based on a little web idea of what we're reaching in our pillars. And then it will walk through and it will show you green being accomplished. And if it's not checked off, it will mean this goal was not completed. You can print this and also use it and to have signed off if you choose to use it. Or if you want, you could actually just kind of right copy, print page. This is one of the ways you can do digitally. And instead of printing to your printer, hit PDF, save as a PDF, and then it will go to wherever that you're putting it. That's what we would encourage you to do if you want a digital copy. Then below is an area for support strategies. This is where you can kind of print off and or edit support strategy that you will create. Below, we have a couple areas where we have independent employment records. that can be actually created. Name of employee, status, preparations. Above that, we also have records that you can kind of put together. Add supported employment hours. These are only field boxes. They do not calculate the time. You would have to do that. Another area for supported employments. Maybe you want to know when their start and end dates happened. If you want to create a custom data tracking, you can do. So I'm saying, how long did I spend with someone? Now, I'm going to walk you through first on the log notes. In the log notes section, this is where you can find all your months. You will notice there is yellow. I will explain that in a moment when it comes to concerns and incident reports. They will be yellow. They're flagged. But throughout the year, you can go back to each month if you choose, or you can actually just pull up a search word and it will actually pull up all the log notes with that search word. When we come back, I'm going to come back now into November. But let's just say I want to add a log note. So if I want to add a log note, I'm going to click, come in. You're going to get a little preamble that talks about being careful of what you do. This is here for every person. Remembering this is a legal documentation. It will show you your shift start from your time. So whatever time your shift started. So let's just say your shift started at 10 and say it's ending here at 12. And so it was a 2-hour shift. Wouldn't we all like to only have a 2-hour shift? Now I can write how my day went overall. You can, in this area, add links if you chose or something along that line. There is opportunity to throw a video in there, remembering the privacy laws of your organization, if you use this or not. That's that upload that I talked about. So I'm wanting to show you quickly, file upload. If you were adding, I'm just going to quickly add one in here. That was from something I created on my desktop. Remember the timeline that was on the front over here. You don't have to leave this page in log notes. You can just open up that timeline and you can still put, while you're doing your log notes, all the same information. You can put those into place. Or you can close the timeline because there's nothing to add today. And then these are custom log notes afterwards. At the bottom, it will say concerns. You can open up. Maybe there was a medical or something, other type of concern. You can fill this out. It's still a regular log note, but it will flag. It will flag other people. If it's not a concern and say it's a critical incident report, a critical incident report will open up. So they had an injury to self, they fell while running and they went to the hospital and they found out they had a break. And so what you would do is now in this section where it says incident date and time, make sure you don't just leave this because it's in place, because it will show up as midnight as a default. So you want to go to the side, say 12, and I'll go back and I'll say it was 12:01. So you can actually always go back and you can even change on that date. So, all right, the staff involvement, there's a place of incident, a date before the incident walks through the after incident. This section, we're gonna walk through this in just a little while here. And the contributors, you remember, team lead and manager levels have permission so that they will be notified by email for all critical incident reports. So these are people who would be, if this was an incident, I want to notify Evan and Ev. I'm just going to send. So these will be emailed instantly at the end of this log note, as this critical incident report will be reported and it can be clicked on instantly by the people that this is being reported to. It gives you a time along everyone else how soon they were notified by phone. Because in here, they've been directly by phone. So director, staff members, program managers, whoever they may be, could be government funders. If it's someone else, then you specify who they are. And then is there any immediate follow-up? And then you're going to hit submit. And if you did, it would say this report will be sent to Evan R. Reynolds. So I'd say, yes, I want this sent. There we go. Did I finish something? I missed something here. There we go. There we go. All right, so there we go. We created it. It just was lagging for me. When I go in, you can actually see, I actually put this one part on the timeline. Hi, so this is called native video. This is what you can upload from your device. So this could be your phone, it could be an iPhone, it could be... So knowing when you upload from any device, you only have 100 megabytes. And depending on the resolution of your device that's uploading, your megabytes will vary. Generally speaking, we always encourage, most often you can take about 1 minute of video regardless of what device that you're using, but you could go up to 2 minutes. You're safe within usually the minute to 2 minute mark, but yeah, double check, take a look. So all the information in here, if there was follow-up needed, they would have mentioned it. And then managers and team leaders for filling out the report will be able to see after it's done. Only comments can be made by team leader and or manager levels, and then your timestamp will happen. Coming back on our log note, the dot also will give you quick access for a phone in the log note. So when we come back into November, you will see when the log note happens. If I come to the bottom, it's going to show you on every log note who saw it, who viewed it, and at what time. And in a log note, you'll also see when goals have actually been completed. Now, if you want to add new things to your setup, in here you can actually customize extra log notes, which are only fields, not boxes with ticks. But if you wanted to say, for example, right, did they get out in the community? It's very important. Then that would be a question you would use, and they'd say yes or no, and or give more explanation. You can continue to add a new custom question if you choose, and or you can actually delete the old ones. All right, so you can see we can pull up a tracking report of the most recent as we walk through. I want to come to the instant reports. When we click on the side, it will show you all the latest reports. So here's today's report. In here, it'll say print the incident. If it is and it's being printed out, this is a page that you can just print out. But you can also, if you were clicking in here, as I mentioned before, to make this digital, it will show you your full print. And maybe this is something you can just attach and sign. You can also print it directly to your printer if you choose. In some cases, you may want digital, and that's where I would just save as a PDF onto my laptop or onto my desktop. All right, below concerns, same thing. You will get a list of concerns. They look slightly different. They're just bringing in awareness, and then they'll take you to the actual full log note. So I can see right now that Daniel Thicket had saw this one and been viewed on May 13th originally. So that takes you through the section. Let's walk over to the plan. In the plan, this is the area where you'll notice it says next plan is November 4th, 2022, meaning we just previously finished. We are all now ready, and we have all our goals in place. Our goals are on the left, our home life, our community connections. Now in this case, I just have completed one and showing one other one needs completed. I've left these ones blank just so that we could have them in place to see there are several different pillars you can choose from. This here allows you to have a walkthrough so you can be able to understand home life and what's being requested and asked for.
MyCompass. Home life. Our homes are important, and so it's important we spend time making sure they are places we really like. So what makes a good home?
Good home is...
So if I go to relationships, the same thing, we'll have another video to be able to play.
MyCompass. Strengthening relationships.
Everybody on the planet wants love, and they want...
What are the things that really plan for not just the good life, but the best life, the better life? And so there's goals that will be in place. Now this one you saw was completed. That's why it's green. What you can do, because sometimes a plan will change during the year. So most people plan through a year. Some could do it 3 months, 6 months. Your organization can choose. In here, it gives you the information when we go to edit. Who are the important people? How I stay connected, making new friends. This is stuff that's very important if you haven't gone through with it before, to kind of help you. Give a little bit of an overview. You can attach up to 3 pictures. And now we could actually change and get rid of this goal, add a new goal, because now do not remove anything during the year if it's been completed. But if this one wasn't, we might go in and edit. Maybe we need to add more tasks. Maybe we need to rewrite something that was written not well. You can edit, or you can go in and just add a new goal. This is how a goal is added during the year. You'll come in and say, what is our goal? So on the right, we have some ideas that have previously been made. So in this case, maybe join Facebook to stay connected with family and friends. We're going to put the date, so we'll put it today. what kind of goal? Well, this one's kind of a quick win goal, right? It's we need it so that we can connect with family, and all the contributors are listed who are a part of his supports. So I have Evan and Evan here. I'm going to check those off. They will get an email instantly when I check off this editing of this goal and finalize it. We're going to put the quality of life, say it's personal development and a bit of social inclusion. And we could add a new task and or not. In this case, I won't. I'll leave it. And I'm going to save this goal to the pillar. Now, I'm going to go and edit the review date. Make sure it stays the same. This date up here can be edited. And I'm just going to update it so it stays the same. And now what we're going to notice under strengthening relationships, on the bottom, as I come down, join Facebook to stay connected with family and friends. So I now have a new goal that is in place. And these can be done based on how your organization will work with the timelines. So if you recall, when we come back, I'm going to step out of John's, come back in, you'll see different people at different times. So in this case, say I have Stanley, his is in development, this one is in review. So why don't we take actually OSA? We'll go click on OSA and his is in review. So when that time of the year comes, you need to make a report. It needs to put it all together. You'll go into the plan. Once you get a hold of the plan, you're now going to go in for a review. It's going to allow you the incompleted goals. Was this done? There is an ability to mark it as complete if it wasn't completed in time, but it was done. So as supervision, as managers, team leaders, you can choose how to use this. So let's just say this goal was completed, this one was, this one wasn't. And we would go back and work with staff why that wasn't done correctly. Then we check in. It's going to ask for our funders. They want to know what kind of this was. Let's just say, and we could put some information. Absolutely loved connecting with family. Maybe it's something important I'm going to put on, and I would put a little bit more about them during that time. I'm going to save and continue. It's going to walk me through all the different areas. I would then write in each section. I'm just going to quickly zip through a whole bunch of them here. Just for time's sake for you, I'm going to finalize the review. And at the end, as we come, it's going to say, why was this not completed? And so there's many different answers you can use or use others. Say it was due to the pandemic, so it was a crisis. You can now take this and start from scratch, from brand new, or you could take the old last year's, archive it, save it as a template and edit it later with a plan in development. Or you could archive it, do not create again because the person is no longer with you. And then when you hit submit, what you're going to notice now at the top, it's in development. So when we go back to the development, now in this case, I'm just going to go back as we go in to look originally now over at Stanley. So we'll take a look over in Stanley's. His is in development, same thing. What we want to do is click on his plan. It's that time. We're going to meet with family. We're going to connect, go over things. And at this stage, we can then go to the end and we can start editing. Was this a goal we're going to continue this year? Nope. We're going to remove it. Or we're going to edit it a little bit. Or we're going to continue with this one again this year. And we're going to go in and add a new goal. And just like the same as before, we're going to add something and maybe start a new garden. I believe we actually had that in place. One. And what kind of goal is it? It's a goal that sustains. And I'm going to maybe see who's going to be involved. So I would pick the staff members or the contributors. What quality of life domain. And then I could pick, this is going to be personal development, just say. And then I'm going to add tasks or not. I'm going to save the goal to the pillar. And now it's actually added on the bottom. You can see start a garden. All right, so let's just say I've gone through the entire area. So I went through all 4 pillars. I will finalize my plan. It says, do you want to? Yes. And I will put my date in. So my date now will be next year, say December 15th is when I'm going to be revising. And up here, December 15th, 2022. All right, let's go back up to the top. I think that's going to cover most of the areas of MyCompass. I want to just take a few moments to show you up here where it says welcome. We have a support page. This will take you in this support page directly to MyCompass. if you need to know a little bit of information or type something in. So maybe you want to learn about log note writing and see some information, type it in, it will come up. When you click on this section, it will now walk through a tutorial for you with screenshots and information with details on how to walk through all those pieces. So that is your support page. When we go back into here, you'll see there is also an account. Your account, this is where you can change your picture, change your name, if an email did change, something along those lines. And then the other section, which I want to take a few minutes, is the admin. This is how only administrators, those who have been made as super users, as we call them in MyCompass, they will be admin. You can go into your admin section. In the admin section, under users, so you will click on users. These are the people who will be accessing. They are given an email account. So if this is your staff, they have a super user, they are an administrator. But right now, Bert Rumley, I want to take Bert Rumley and I want to make them inactive. Right here, it says active. So you click off, which will now make them inactive. So when I go to the bottom, I save, I come back, you can see they're no longer active. They no longer have access to the system. They cannot pull up any of the profiles, even though you can still see they are a super user. Maybe they're on leave for a month or 2 months and you need to make them inactive for whatever the purpose may be. Maybe someone has gone on maternity leave or parental leave. So now you can go back in when they return, click on active, go to the bottom and save, and they will be put back into the system as you can see. All right, so in here, you can also, if you need to see what they see, for whatever reason, someone says they're having a problem, you will be able to go in and you can impersonate. You have the ability to see what they see on the back end. So please be careful, whoever is the administrators, we always say. All right, let's just take a look where it says feature toggles. Feature toggles are toggles that you can turn on or off. The incident reporting, if I click this one off, you will no longer have an incident report. And you just go to the bottom and save. It's gone. Community mapping. On click, save, you no longer can go to the community mapping page that is crowdsourced. So it's not accessible. Some companies, they like to keep it more simple at the beginning, get some things up and going so not everyone goes in and plays around. Other people like to be able to allow people to explore. Whatever the interest is, you click back, you hit save, and once you've done that, you are now able to continue. So the feature toggles will allow you your different switches. A little bit further down here, this is the impersonation log, so you can see it shows who the impersonator was and who they impersonated, and you get your logins digitally stamped into the times. Now, as you go down further, the mapping. I showed you that mapping earlier. Places. So let's just say West Edmonton Mall. It hasn't been approved. It's private. If I click onto the West Edmonton Mall, it'll show what's the activated date. And then at the bottom, it says private. So I click on this. I can make it public. And now everybody, when I save that, can now access it, right? It says now it's public. All right. So I'm going to go back again to the home. We'll walk our way through. We'll see we have places and regions and you can tags. The missions, I was sharing that with you earlier. You'll put your own missions in so you can see host a bake sale in your neighborhood. If you break it down, this is where you enter your information in the back end. And we will walk you through that and do a tutorial. Coming back out of the missions and working down further, you can see this is everyone who is a contributor. So you can break down the actual contributors and what their permission levels are. So you can see in the back end. And if you need to, you just search for who they may be. In there, you can also see where it says important dates. You can find them all. You can add more to specifics. Incident reports. So this will always pull up the date of incident as you'll notice here where it says, so John Doe. So if I just want Bert, say, we can see if there's anything in the search for Bert. Okay, there's nothing, but we saw there was some for John. So is it possible that we could find some for John? Oh, there we go. So long as there are some there, you'll see the dates that they have been added, and then you could go view that actual incident report. And when you view that, I will just quickly show this is the back end, the administrative part. All right, as we continue forward, you'll notice, again, not only just the instant reports, it could be types. We can go to log notes. This is the back end of the log notes, the recent ones that have been in. So this was one of the recent log notes. Again, this is not the front end, which everyone sees. Only administrators or super users have access. When the shift started, what was registered, the times. It shows there was a critical incident that was reported with this. It showed there was a video attached. All that information will lie in the back end. Now, there are filters. So if you want to add filters for people, you'll notice that these are the programs and you could go add new filters. So 1010, it could be in regions. Some people and companies have had more than one region, so they spread it out and put their sections and filter individuals that are profiles into those sections as well, depending on what your actual needs are. And so timeline post, it walks through them all. Now your plans and your goals. So you can see actually all the goals that have been kind of pre-written. You can go make changes. If you want to make some changes on the types of goals that people can find to even work from. The work pillars. So we talked about pillars. So home life, relationships. These are all the ones that are a common staple that we use at MyCompass, but you could go add a new pillar. You can put a new pillar back in. But if you go back a little bit further, you'll notice now not just on the pillars, but the quality of life domains. So in this case, because the funders, most of them will use, now this one's been added justice. So the quality of life domains could be over here. And if you remember when we're checking out, they're saying which one would you select the quality of life domain, and this is what would be reported to the Excel spreadsheet. That is under the quality of life, and they can be changed. And as we come a little bit, again, lower to the bottom, you can walk through the surveys. So you can ask survey questions. So here's the survey. How's it going so far? Maybe we want people to put something in the survey. We can come in, give a little description about a start and an end date, that it's going to be available on every profile. And here's your questions. What's one thing that would make life better? So we can gather answers. We can change the order in which they come. How satisfied are you overall with the support? Again, you can then save this once it's completed, and we could activate, and then the entire organization. Now, it will be the entire organization that would be kind of added to it. All right, as we come back, we'll go back to view site. So this is your back end where you will make the changes and be able to look around. But that takes you through the demo of MyCompass.
Well, to learn more and help get lots of further questions answered, check out our website at MyCompassPlanning.com. Especially check out the facts and questions section. If you want to learn more about pricing, you can contact us at hello@MyCompassPlanning.com or directly through our book a demo and pricing form on our website. Thanks for your time.